Okay. This is going to be a group energy healing where I heal 136 people in 10 different countries. And you are welcome to watch and heal yourself as you watch. There'll be a discussion part and then the healing, and then there'll be a short Q&A part after that. And so during the healing, I talk out loud and say what I'm doing as I do it. So that part could be a self-healing walkthrough if you wanted to do what I'm doing on yourself and give yourself. And the name of this healing is February 2026 Triplet Set Healing 1 of 3. And for those that do not know, that are new, my website is jwhealing.com, and my name is Janet Wright. I'm an energy healer, energy reader, and teacher. And all my teaching is here on YouTube for free. You could go to my website and purchase a set of healings so that I heal you, but the teaching is no charge here on YouTube. Oh, my husband says my video is choppy. Were you using this camera yesterday? Yeah, maybe. Well, sounds like my video is choppy. But the sound is good, so let me know, I guess, how choppy it is. Is it as choppy as yours was before? Oh, yeah, it is really choppy. YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. La 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 la. My husband says maybe everyone should just close their eyes and imagine there's good video. A bit delayed, not too bad. Oh my goodness. Well, I don't know if there's any fix for that. A drag, but I am really prepared for this healing, and it's going to be an awesome healing. I'm wondering if I reboot my computer, it might not fix anything, is the problem. Hello, hello. Thank you for your greetings, everybody. So, all right. My husband says it's not that bad, not worth rebooting and starting a whole new live stream. Let's hope that's true. Do. Oh, I la 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 la. I lost. Oh. I was so ready. Oh. Frickety frag fruck. No lags here seems okay. Oh, well, that's nice. Man, bear, pig. Sorry, I don't like to say YouTube names and specific things, but it's an interesting idea. All right, I have to, it's just if you want thing. Hmm. Thank you for your patience. This will be an amazing live stream, but I need to do this really quickly. Do. Need to. Thank God. All right, fine. I need my banners. Okay, so the theme for this time is it's a long theme, of course. Lately I have long themes. There we go. Okay. Use teeny font. Teeny font. Yeah, good enough. Okay. So the theme for this whole month, February 2026, is a dual theme, of course. Clear denial to inspire progress and heal emotions and sexuality. So denial is always good to clear. It's one of those things where, plenty of people don't think they have a problem with denial, because the whole point with denial is it blocks you from being aware of something. So you don't know it's there. It's like it's an invisibility cloak or something. So you're tricking your mind so you don't know that you have denial if you have denial. No, I mean, chances are, there is denial that is healthy denial. So I will often throughout the live stream try to make a point of saying unhealthy denial, that we're clearing unhealthy denial. Healthy denial is because, some aspects of reality might be too much for you, or some information or some life experiences that you've been through may be too much for you to remember or think about right now. Some things are just too much for now, TMI. So that would be healthy denial. Unhealthy denial is like it's sort of like maybe when something happened, say you had a bad day, right? And I'm simplifying, but you had a bad day, right? So then you kind of covered up your emotions about it and you use denial, right? But then since then, you're like 10 times stronger than you were then. And, in a lot of ways, you've changed and evolved, but that denial could still be there, covering up that emotional baggage from that day and the fear and whatever. And so that emotional baggage and fear and whatever is like harshing your vibe, and slowing your manifesting and, whatever. It's just messing with your boundaries. And meanwhile, if you clear the denial, then you could clear that baggage and you'd be a lot stronger. So it's just like house cleaning kind of stuff where you clear unhealthy denial. So that's just in general clear denial. And we do that very often. Well, maybe not often enough, but we do it fairly frequently, like maybe every other month, every 3 months at least in a set, we'll clear denial. Sometimes, multiple times in a month, we'll help do it in one of our 5 healings. But clear denial to inspire progress is sort of like a subset of denial that's really in the way. It's a subset of your unhealthy denial that's really in the way of you moving forward, either getting unstuck or growing faster, kind of speeding up your rate of manifesting. So it's more specific. It's just we're going to single out through intention denial that is slowing your progress or stopping your progress, and we'll clear that, to the extent that's healthy and gentle to do one time, of course. And that's always important, but especially with denial, because like I said, there is healthy denial, that, just information that's just too much for now. So that's that. And then the heal emotions and sexuality part. So that was that. So then the heal emotions and sexuality part of the theme, that's pretty straightforward what that is. I would just say that a bit like with denial, it's like you might think that you say with emotions, you might think, well, I'm fine with my emotions. I can cry sometimes. I feel, my mood's pretty okay most of the time. So my emotions are fine, but it's something that there's always room for improvement. And two, sometimes there could be emotional stuff that you're kind of blind to, that you do have denial with. And so it's interesting that the angels had me combine the two topics on the same month. So it'll be good to do, to just heal on an emotional level. And we'll do it we can do it technically, like second chakra, second layer, stuff like that of the astral body and the physical body. We could look at, different meridians and stuff and get all detailed. But I want to try to simplify and do it, like with rivers and heal mini yous and stuff, visual, simple ways. Because I think sometimes the level of detail, level of detail can be good, but I think it's good to be able to shift gears and do both. And, every healing, we do the 5 essentials for like the first half of the healing time wise. And most of that is pretty detailed. So then the other stuff, I think as a contrast, we could do it in a very, more like simple way. So anyway, and sexuality, I did want to mention that too, because, I heal kids and I heal people that, maybe they're single or they're widows or widowers or whatever, or they're just at an age where it's not that big a deal for them, their sexuality. And I would say don't blow off those sections. They're always good to heal because sexuality and emotions are both second chakra, and so they both, like, the wellness of one helps the wellness of the other. And also, like, even if you're just thinking of physically, I'm not a doctor. Big shock, big surprise there. But like, your sexual hormones can help with all sorts of physical things, like, and again, take this from a complete layman who does not have medical training, but I think, like, even like your estrogen levels, for example, in a woman can help with bone density and having stronger bones, in later in life. So, and I'm sure for guys there's a testosterone equivalent, that it'll help with, lowering rates of cancer or whatever, so I think having the sort of the rivers of your sexual energy flowing properly, so to speak, it doesn't have to only, be for hot dates, or hot dates with yourself. It can be just for regular physical health, and it impacts emotions and psychology and whatever. So for many of you, that's obvious, but in case it wasn't obvious, I do want to be explicit about that at the start of the month. Just say, don't blow it off. It's good for your health. It's good for next lifetime too. All this stuff. If you clear baggage, then you don't have, that's less you have to deal with in your next life. And you can move forward and work on something else, and experience, more enjoyment in your next life. So it always helps to work this stuff. Oh, right. So that is guessing the theme for this month. So what about today? So part of what, I mean, of course, we'll do the 5 essentials today, as we always do. Grounding or repair, chakra repair, creative ring repair, back of head stuff, which helps with sleep and focus and all sorts of goodness. And then some of the stuff will obviously relate more directly to the themes that I just discussed. But I'm going to talk first about what maybe is less obviously related to the theme, and then I'll talk about the theme related, more obviously theme related stuff. But I think it will all help. So we're going to repeat, I called it BBBT, bye-bye being tunnels. It's just a really simple technique to get rid of a certain type of invasive energy that can be kind of frustrating if you're doing energy healing on yourself and you're like, oh, I'm trying to clear out invasive energy and there's always so much more, you know. So being tunnels is just a type of invasive energy that can come through that can come through tunnels. And so it's like if you don't really get rid of the tunnels, then it seems like it never ends, you know, the amount of that there's just so many invasive energies in your space, you know. So it's just an easy, simple topic and technique. And so we'll do that again. We did it in the last 2 healings, but those were twin set healings. So, and it's just so quick and easy, and it did get good comments in the surveys. People like that. It'd be nice to do. And then another thing that maybe isn't obviously directly related to the theme is we'll do some traditional Chinese medicine themed work, but in a simple way. So we won't, you know, like I won't be playing meridian videos, and we won't do, you know, specific, just, you know, like highlight 2 meridians like we do sometimes. We'll do all of them, like all your traditional Chinese medicine organ systems and meridians as one river, including the internal pathways of these meridians and external pathways on the surface of your skin. So we'll do your all your traditional Chinese medicine systems, you know, as one river. You can unblock it to the extent that's healthy and gentle. Do at one time. And so we'll do that. So all your TCM systems as one river. And then we'll do your TCM systems as 2 rivers, one for the external meridians that, you know, we have normally done that are on the surface of the skin or just below the surface of the skin, that, you know, you can needle with acupuncture, often, most of the points, but so we'll do the external points as one river, the external meridians as one river, and then one river for the internal pathways of those meridians and the internal traditional Chinese medicine organ systems. So external and internal, meaning external surface near the surface of the skin, internal, you know, deeper inside your body. Because that's pretty interesting to do them as 2 separate rivers and see, because sometimes, you know, one is like way more stagnant than the other. And so you got to be gentle and not expect, you know, like night and day transformation in a minute. You know, you have to just do what's healthy and gentle to do right now. But I think that's nice. We'll do that. So as 2 rivers, internal and external TCM systems. And then also 2 rivers, we'll do yin and yang. So all your TCM systems that are yin related and all your TCM systems that are yang related. So we'll do 2 rivers so you can kind of compare and contrast and heal both, nourish both. Because sometimes like your yin is way weaker than your yang maybe, or vice versa. So they're both kind of out of whack because of that, because they're supposed to like keep each other in check. So I think that's useful and interesting. So that's the TCM stuff we'll do. So one is 1 river, and then one is 2 rivers, and another one is 2 rivers. So pretty simple, non-technical. So that was the TCM stuff. As river, 1 river or 2 rivers. So that was that. And then this one is maybe you might, I don't know, you may associate it with the theme, because part of the theme is heal emotions and sexuality. So emotions, joy could be considered, the positive, the more enjoyable, the most enjoyable emotion, perhaps. And so we're going to do a little bit with that. And I think it's especially good to do it this month when we're really being more thorough in healing emotionally and acknowledging and healing emotions, because when you think about it, most people in their adult life, do they have a lot of joy in their daily life? Maybe not. Maybe they don't, and that can be very triggering for people to acknowledge and to work on, because maybe they feel sad about it, or maybe they feel mad about it, or maybe they just have learned to numb out about it. And so we'll work joy and what happened to your joy, and, baby steps on getting you to call back your joy and to kind of learn about what happened with your joy and do something about it. And then we'll go into more of like really supportive work about, dealing with your emotions, because it can dig up a lot of emotions to realize that you don't have a lot of joy in your daily life, or to, consciously think about it. It can make you feel depressed or feel, whatever. And so we're going to work joy and, like where did it go and what happened and how to build it back. But then we'll also, do really emotionally supportive things too, so that we don't just bum you out, we want to bring back some joy energy and help you process, so you're cool with that, that you're taking baby steps and increasing your joy in your daily life. And to know that, it's like, yeah, sure, even if you call back some joy, realizing where it went and how long you haven't had that amount of joy, can trigger stuff within you that is not joyful, So it's sort of a process, like you realize, and then you're like, well, that sucks, and then you kind of process that a little, and then, and then you do get to enjoy the joy part too. So, but there may be a slight delay, for you to process the whole, well, that sucks part. But we'll try to speed up the whole, well, that sucks part, so you can just get to enjoying, more playfulness and more levity and more, sparkle. So that's the joy thing. And it'll be pretty simple with the joy stuff. I don't want to really go into more detail on it now, but we'll do a simple way of working joy. So I already talked a little bit during the theme discussion about denial and the different flavors of denial, and how there's healthy denial and unhealthy denial, and how denial in the way of your progress is like, a specific subset of unhealthy denial, that if you clear that, it's more likely to help you move forward. Because some denial is just like, it just helps you learn, which, in a small way helps you move forward, but maybe it's not really central to what's holding you back in your life, So we want to, we do want to try to pinpoint the stuff that's really holding you back and clear that, as long as it's healthy and gentle to clear. But But so there's a nice way that I want to do that, which I think will be nice. It's just a visual technique, you know, so it's not super detailed. I think anyone could do it. But I'll leave the details for when we're about to do it. But it's a really super easy visual technique to clear denial that's in the way of your progress. All right. Okay. So, this is, you know, probably the most obviously theme related part that we're going to be doing today. And it has to do with heal many parts of you that feel certain ways. Because, you know, if we're acknowledging all these parts of like your subconscious, and, you know, you're not just one way at one time. You know, you might, part of you feels angry, part of you feels confused, part of you just feels exhausted, part of you feels inspired, you know, whatever, right? So, I mean, obviously, well, anyway, there's that. So what we're going to heal essentially two different types of emotional parts of you. One is obviously stuck emotion. So like if you're stuck in rage, or if you're stuck in grief, that's just kind of debilitating or exhausting, you know, we'll heal those parts of you so that, because, you know, regular sadness or even regular grief, you know, could be necessary sometimes. You know, experience a great loss, you know, it's going to trigger grief. But if you keep it flowing and releasing, and that's, I would say, healthy grief, right? As opposed to stuck grief. Same thing with sadness. You know, you can be sad because something occurred that, you know, you sort of are sad about, you know, and it doesn't have to be an unhealthy emotion. It can be moderate, it can be manageable. You can keep your center and make mindful choices despite having parts of you that are sad. And you can acknowledge that sadness, you know, but stuck sadness is more like, you know, oh, I cried for 3 hours and I still feel tired, you know, or I you know, I feel so depressed I can't get out of bed, you know, or something. Obviously, that's stuck sadness. Maybe also hormonal issues as well, but, you know, you get the point. It's like the extremes. Anger, you know, anger, there is a healthy centered version of anger. You know, some things just might make you angry, you know, a great injustice that you see, it can make you angry. But you can be centered, you can be focused about it. It can be moderate, it can be something that you still have your wisdom, your ability to make decisions. You can be non-invasive with others by choice, you know, because you can manage the anger. It's just a one of your emotions, right? Oftentimes people think of anger as a very extreme thing because they have so much pent up repressed anger that, you know, it's like explodes and they explode on other people, or they, you know, just shove it down, you know. But so we'll work healing these repressed parts of you to the extent that's healthy and gentle, so that they're no longer in your way and weighing you down, so that you actually clear the whatever is making this you stuck in anger, or stuck in, you know, excessive anger, or stuck in excessive sadness, or, you know, you get the point. So there's that. And that's obvious, not shocking, and very helpful, right? But then there's also unacknowledged emotion, like it may be moderate sadness or moderate anger, maybe not, but you're not acknowledging it. And so sometimes, you know, like I think particularly women, I think are sort of societally trained not to be angry. sometimes, in some cultures and some subsets of cultures, that it's, it's just not feminine to be angry, that we should all smile all the time. And, and so, we will heal those parts of you that you're maybe accidentally not acknowledging. Maybe there are parts of you that are angry that you haven't acknowledged, because heaven forbid you should be angry at your best friend or your spouse or whoever. Or maybe there's a part of you that's sad that you haven't acknowledged because you figure, oh, my sadness is going to swallow me up if I acknowledge it, but that you get into trouble that way, so we'll just do what's healthy and gentle to do so that nothing is, you don't become less functional. But, that idea of acknowledging and just saying like, hey, I get it. I acknowledge this. I understand this, versus like just shoving it to the side and pretending like it's not there. So I think that'll be just as strengthening, maybe even more so than the obviously stuck parts of you that are in extreme emotion. So that should be interesting, I think. I hope. I mean, it'll be interesting for me. I hope it's interesting for you too. And I think that's everything. Yeah. So it's a lot, but and there are 5 healings this month. There's the set of 3 and then there's the set of 2. The February twin set is the set of 2, and that's still for sale on my website. So that it's not too late to get that one. If you like this theme, or maybe you during this set, but you didn't get that set yet, or you didn't get a chance to buy this set, you could still get that the February twin set if you want on my website, jwhealing.com. Oh. Okay, so the March themes is not a surprise. If you listen to all my stuff or get my news emails, you've already heard that the March theme is safety, abundance and safety, having strong boundaries with danger, and having an open hand to opportunities. So it's sort of this contrasting thing of, abundance and safety is like first chakra stuff. So that's not a shock, but I think we'll just take it one step further about, how do you have strong boundaries with danger? How do you, cultivate safety? And how do you, energetically, spiritually, and then how do you, make sure that you're open to your new opportunities? Because sometimes when people think of danger, they get fear triggered and they just become very, they put up these walls that can push away new opportunities that are helpful to them and non-dangerous. So to be able to work both sides of that, are you open to new opportunities, which is more abundance, and are you, safe? So that's March. So then April, I don't have the dates up on my website yet. You'll be able to purchase them in 10 days on the 15th. But for April, I am excited. I just realized the theme yesterday. It's focus, discipline, time management, and productivity. Like just a big basket of goodness. So again, that's focus for April, which will be on sale in 10 days, is focus, discipline, time management, and productivity. So that'll be the theme for April 2026 healing sets. Which is really nice. Who couldn't use more of that? Like, yes, please. All right, good. Now, So I'm going to take a look at pre-healing chat comments. Feel free to say hi, say where you're viewing from if you want, the weather where you are if you want. I did want to say, please give this live stream a thumbs up if you don't mind. It would help the algorithm to like this stuff better and show more people this video. Okay, so someone says, hi, I can see and hear you. Thank you. A bit delayed, but not too bad. Yeah, I'm wondering if it still is like that. Let me see if I can tell. No, maybe it's okay now. So you can let me know if the video still lags or it's better now. I'm curious. All right, someone says, hi, Janet. Seems okay to me. Oh, good. This is, hey, Janet, can see and hear you after refreshing the page. Interesting. It says, no lags here. Seems okay. Wow. It says, I had no video closed and reopened. Okay now. Wow. Well, isn't that interesting? It says, it's a very old handle. I thought I was so funny when I came up with that. However, many years ago, oh, it's from South Park. Oh, I see. I see. The, your YouTube name. So it says, good evening from Ireland. Hello to you in Ireland. Hello, hello. This is hi from Chicago. 30 degrees Fahrenheit and cloudy, so below freezing. No delay right now for me. Oh, that's nice. So here it is cloudy. It was a little sunny earlier, a little bit. And it is not raining, so that's nice. And I can see a little bit of blue sky, just a little bit. But it's pretty late in the day. It's 4:10 here, so I guess it'll be dark in an hour. I love when the days get longer and longer. These short days are a little less fun. They don't have to be, but as a gardener, sometimes I think of them that way. I didn't put that out there, right? I want to have as much fun as possible this winter. All right. Winter fun is possible. I can do it. I can do it. Winter fun. All right, let's see. So I will be if I can make that bold. Well, good enough. I'm not gonna get train wrecked on that. So yeah. So I'm gonna be quiet and finish just a little bit of saying hello to the people I'm about to heal and finishing my prep. And towards the end of the prep, I will start the healing without talking, just for a minute or so. And so if you see me go like that, that's how you know I've started the healing. But shortly after that, I will start talking and explaining what I do as I do, which I will talk out loud throughout the entirety of the healing, except for that first minute of. Okay, let's see if my hands are in the shot. No, they are not. Almost in the. I'm viewing in reverse, so I get very confused about how to fix camera centering issues. Would that do it, or would that do it? Ah. Getting there. Okay. For being patient with me. Hoping that you are. Okay, so now I'll be quiet for a few minutes before we get started with the healing. Okay, thanks for waiting. So I'm going to start out with a grounding and healing everything in a not that technical way first, and then we'll do the 5 essentials standard thing that we do. Well, the rest of them, you know, chakra repair, aura repair, blah, blah, blah. But first, let's just heal everything. So your grounding is your connection to the core of the earth. You have 2 of them, one for your spirit, one for your body. Just recreate them. Make them big and wide. As wide as all your auras, wide all the way down to the core of the earth. Make them both red or both orange or both yellow, whatever helps you release the most right now. And then you can make a copy out in front of you of your groundings and really your everything. So your physical body, your astral body, which is the part of you as a spirit that can be in your physical body. And then all your auras are around you. And so you have your physical body and astral body, you have all your auras, and then you have both your groundings all the way down to the core of the earth. Right? And so just use lots of gold light. So gold light you generate from your hands, your hand chakras and your fingertip chakras. So those are energy centers. And you set those energy centers with your intention or your thought to a metallic gold color like this glitter. And in doing that, then that's the color they generate naturally. So gold light is just, it's fast moving, but not too fast. So it's good to help you repair and let go and transform your energy, nourish you. So just comb through everything. Your major chakras are all along your spine, although you have a lot of really important chakras all over, in all your meridians and all your around your joints and all that. But the major chakras, 7 astral chakras and 7 physical chakras, are along your spine from in the top of your head to the base of your spine. So just use a nice flowing, wide force field of gold light to kind of soothe all your major chakras and unblock them and repair them. Just melt away anything that's not you. You want to have that healthy and gentle intention so you're not doing too much right now. Just whatever's, yeah. So lots of cold light up and down your spine. Melt away cords, connections to other people. You can say, angels, if there's any invasive energy messing with my chakras, any of my chakras, can you please recycle those invasive energies? And if you didn't know you have angels, you do. And when you say angels in your mind, they hear you. So easy to talk to your angels. And your auras, we're going to do detailed aura repair, but at this point you can just use so much gold light and start the repair of all the rips in your auras. Notice where they are. Maybe you have more up at the top. Maybe you have more by your belly, by your stomach in front. Maybe you have some around your knees. So we're just going to get the process going of repair. And unblock your groundings. So you just imagine the clogs in your groundings and melt those clogs. All right. So that's a little mini heal everything. Indie grounding is where you check the outer surface of both of your groundings as they go down to the core of the earth. You melt away any attachments. So you just melt away anything hooking into the outer surface of both your groundings. So lots of gold light, melt everything away. Your grounding works best when it's only for you, just like other people's grounding works best when it's only for them. sometimes I mentioned in the discussion section that sometimes there's parts of you that you don't really acknowledge. And we're going to work on that today. But so that can be the case in your grounding. Sometimes there are clogs in your grounding that you're just kind of used to not acknowledging. So go ahead and nudge yourself and find a couple extra spots in your grounding that are blocked that you didn't notice, that you normally don't notice. And just use so much gold light that you melt those clogged areas away so that now they're flowing. All right, good job. And I suppose, if we're wrapping up this, the low detail heal everything, you can just say, angels, help me to have a good day. Or I'm going to let my angels help me to make the most of today. Deep breath. All right, good job, good job. Woohoo. Yay. Okay, so let's do a little more detail for the other 5 essentials. So aura repair. We'll do it the standard way that we normally do with composite copy technique. So you have 17 auras all around you. Astral body aura, physical body aura, and then 15 that are called Wei Qi auras. That's something the angels taught me. So if you're looking all over the internet for other people talking about Wei Qi auras, probably not going to happen unless they heard it from me, I guess, because the angels, it's just something that angels described to me. So there's a heads up. But because I feel bad, I did hear somebody was like, I've been looking everywhere for mention of Wei Qi auras. Okay, so aura repair. You imagine an image of a rip and you say, okay, well, this rip represents all the rips that I actually do have in my 17 auras at this time. And as you repair your composite copy rip, your representative rip, you're repairing all those rips. Okay? So you make an image of a rip and you say, okay, well, this represents all the rips that I currently have in all my auras. And then you want to clean it out and repair, right? So you clean it out. You can clean it out in a bunch of different ways. If you're in your house, you're in a private and safe location, you could do like sort of a wow technique that attracts a little bit more attention. If you're at home and your home, you clean out your home and so it's safe. You could use so much gold light and gold fire that you clean it out and repair it like all in one step. You just flame it like so hard, that I'll do a moderate version of that. But you flame it so hard with gold light that it cleans out and repairs in one step. But I would not do a wow technique like that, a noticeable energy, especially noticeable energy technique like that when you're in a public place, like if you're, whatever, in a park or something, because it attracts too much spirit attention. But anyway. So, but the regular way you could do is with sticky gold wax to clean out and then gold light to repair. So we'll do that too. So if you already did the flame on one, then you probably repaired most of your rips. So just make an extra copy, extra image of a rip for any leftover rips, right? And then you're gonna clean it out with sticky gold wax. So sticky gold wax is gold light from your hands that sticks to whatever's not you. So you fill up the rip with sticky gold wax and lift out everything that's not you all at once. And give it to your angels. Angels, here you go. Sticky gold wax, lift out all the junk all at once. Angels, here you go. And then use gold light and get it as deep as you can. You can say, angels, if there are any invasive beings in the way of this repair, can you recycle them? Okay, and you could redo your gold buffer zones. And there's a video on that. If you search Janet Wright gold buffer zones, you'll find it. Basically, they're just big gold flowy force fields that you create and put around the edge of your astral body aura and your physical body aura. They're buffers to slow the rate of aura damage if someone's throwing energy at you. Oh, right. So let's see, check the outer surface for any leftover leaks that you may have missed. And maybe there's some hard objects in there that you missed, so just pop out those hard objects. Use a lot of gold light. You can say, angels, if there are any invasive beings in the way of this repair, can you recycle them? Oh, right. Good job. So creative rings are up here, 1, 2, 3. And so it's a ring, gold ring, 1, 2, 3. Make it So you make a copy out in front of you of your gold creative rings and use gold light for your hands to repair and unblock them and melt cords going into them from other people. You can say, angels, if there are any invasive beings messing with my creative rings, can you recycle them? And I think I will stick this in here. I don't know if here's where you normally stick it in. But that technique I told you I'd repeat. Bye-bye being tunnels. So we'll stick it in the creative rings section of the 5 essentials. So being tunnels are just invasive. It's a way for a bunch of invasive beings to sort of enter, which is not good, obviously. And it's easy to clear out these being tunnels. So again, this is a wow technique. So only do this one at home or in a very private location that you know is grounded and safe. So, but you imagine, and if you're not in such a location, just say, angels, can you do it for me? Because I'm not in a private location. That's your solution. But if you are in a private location, what you could do is just create an image of a tunnel and say, okay, well, this represents all the being tunnels in my space. And then you just use lots of gold light. You say, angels, help me do this safely. And you just use lots of gold light. And you're starting to melt the being tunnel. And what happens is then all the invasive beings are like, whoa, don't want to lose the tunnel. And they go back through it. They leave your space through the tunnel. And then they can't get in your space. You can say, too, if you want, you can say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings that came through these tunnels? But I don't think you have to do that. I mean, you could just have them leave and melt the tunnels. But whichever you're in the mood for is fine. All right, good job. So continuing with creative rings. Melt away cords from people. Your creative rings have flaps, just like chakra openings have flaps too. And you want flaps open when they're irritated, when the chakra is irritated or when your creative rings are irritated. How do they get irritated? Because they're damaged and or hoarded and someone is sending their energy to that location. So this is a top-down view of one of your open because they're sticking out like that. If they weren't irritated, then they would be shut. And so it'd be a nice smooth ring right there. So that's the same with a chakra. If the flaps are open, they stick out like that all around. And then if you, melt the cords, get the invasive beings recycled, repair, then the flaps fall shut and it's a nice smooth round opening. So then your energy goes through, just like with your creative rings, your energy goes through and it's harder for people to cord you, right? So still working with the creative rings, thinking about those flaps, just check, how open are the flaps? You want them to be totally closed. Don't force anything, just keep melting cords, keep asking angels to recycle invasive beings until the flaps fully fall shut. And you just have a nice smooth round surface. And if you can't see, you can still do this work. You just say, okay, well, I'm going to be melting away the biggest cords going into my creative ring. Do the biggest cord. I'm going to be repairing the most damaged part of my creative rings and just, have a copy of the most damaged part of your creative rings out in front so that you can focus your gold light there. So again, check these creative ring flaps. See if they're shut now. It's a nice smooth outer surface of each gold ring. You can say, angels, if there are any invasive beings messing with my creative rings or even thinking about messing with my creative rings, can you please recycle them? And you could use sticky gold wax and just put it all around your creative rings and inside them, and have the wax stick to everything that's not you, that's healthy and gentle to get rid of right now. And then just move the wax out, give it to your angels. Angels, here you go. Sticky gold wax, your creative rings. Have the wax stick to everything that's healthy and gentle to get rid of right now. Move all that out at once. Angels, here you go. Unblock above and below your creative rings and inside your creative rings. All right, good job. So we're going to repair and unblock all chakras at the same time, which is a lot of chakras, but you do it using composite copy technique, so it's very easy. So we'll be repairing and unblocking all chakras, meaning not just your major chakras along your astral body spine and physical body spine, but also all the acupuncture points are chakras. I call them minor chakras just because they're not the major 7. And then the chakras around your joints and, in your major limbs, well, in your limbs, all limbs are major. But anyway, I always add words that are not unnecessary. But anyway, okay, so let's repair chakras. So this is the basic chakra shape, right? And so open cylinder. And I would say equally open on both sides, not like a cone, because you want as much flow as possible throughout the chakra, right? So just make an image of a chakra and just say, okay, well, this represents all my chakras, all my major chakras, all my minor chakras of my body and my spirit, just every darn one, right? So just use gold light and melt away cords to people. Wash away energy blocks, melt them with gold light from your hands. You can say, angels, if there are any invasive beings messing with my chakras, can you please recycle them? And melt baggage. So baggage can be like hard, just deposits right around one of the round openings, or it could be wrapped around the chakra itself or stuffed inside. So you just kind of imagine all the different ways you can have baggage and melt it away. And your intention, of course, is healthy and gentle, right? You want to prepare and unblock to the extent that is healthy and gentle to do right now. Again, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings screwing with my chakras? And you can look too, like maybe there are some invasive beings that just are smart enough to like move away when you meditate and then come back. So you can imagine yourself and then imagine like just far off all the invasive beings that move away when you meditate. And say, angels, can you recycle these guys too? Got to get the crafty ones also. All right. Okay, good job. We can also lift out the baggage. So you have your composite copy representing all your chakras and you lift out the baggage that's healthy and gentle to get rid of right now. So lift it out above and then you could wash everybody out with gold light and you could blow it up at that point, or you could just keep using gold light to melt it fully. So lift out the baggage, melt it away. Out the baggage, melt it away. And for the theme, we could do some theme related unblocking. So baggage that's in your chakras that is denial in the way of your progress. You could lift out that denial in the way of progress baggage and just use so much gold light that you melt it away. Lift out your denial in the way of progress baggage. Use so much gold light that you melt it away. And then emotions, right? So lift out your emotional baggage that's healthy and gentle to get rid of right now out of your chakras. And use so much gold light, melt it away. Lift out your sexuality baggage out of that's healthy and gentle to get rid of right now out of your chakras. And just use so much gold light. Wash everybody out of it. Melt it all away. And there could be some invasive beings that are like all, you know, hot and bothered that you just cleared all that. So if there are any invasive beings trying to give you trouble now, just imagine them and say, angels, can you recycle all these invasive beings? All right. Lorenzo, how are we with the lag? Oh, good. Good, good, good. Sure. Yeah. All right. So we'll do a low detail and then a regular geeky version after that. So back of head stuff, really useful for sleeping properly, focus, just like being really present, getting stuff done, all that good stuff. So for back of head stuff, I mean your auras behind your head and neck, but also like you have energy channels and meridians and chakras and stuff in the back of your but this is the low detail version, so I won't explain it all. We'll just heal it, right? With gold light from your hands and also red earth energy we bring up from the core of the earth. So you just imagine this back of head, back of neck area, right? Because all your auras wrap all around you. So just imagine this whole area back here, right? And just melt out with gold light everything that's not you, that's healthy and gentle to get rid of. Melt all the blocks, comb through everything. You want this area to be really safe. You want to be able to let in all your good positive change energy, but not the invasive stuff. So just repair everything. Lots of gold light, just repair everything. Make it nice and positive and safe back here for yourself. So just like the March healing themes, you want to be open to opportunities and also safe, right? So that's kind of the idea back here that we've been working all along, right? You want to have this area be repaired and undamaged so that it's nice and safe and it's only for you to bring in all your good stuff. So you can comb through the back of your neck, the back of your head, and the auras right there. And just melt away all the stuff that's blocked. You only want flow and you only want your energy. You can bring up red earth energy, especially like you can make a red grounding just for the back of your neck and the back of your head. Melt away blocks behind your neck, behind your head. All right. So now we'll do the geeky version. So we're doing the back of head geeky version. Right. So what is that? That's good karma windows, GKW, good karma windows. You're back here in the astral body aura layers. And then base of skull points, which are the acupuncture meridians back here. And then the 5 auras. You have 17 auras, but 5 of them relate to meridians that are going through this area. So those 5 auras are especially important to get unblocked and whole and happy back here. And those 5 auras are astral aura, physical aura, and then governing vessel, urinary bladder meridian, and gallbladder meridian, Wei Qi auras. So just relate to meridians that are back. So first we'll do good karma windows. So there's 1 in each astral body aura layer, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They look like triple frame windows, which is that each one is this shape. So and you just want them to be safe and repaired and unblocked enough. So like step 1 is getting them safe by repairing the damage if there is any and having invasive beings recycled that are around them. If you find any that kind of look cloudy or weird, you know, and have like bushy moving energy around, those are just invasive energies. Could be an invasive person, but you just say, angels, can you recycle all the invasive beings? And just use so much gold light that you're repairing all the damage. It's like a window frame, and if you had a crack in the window frame, so you just use so much gold light that then it grows back. So it's not cracked anymore. And you can have hard objects kind of stabbed through these areas. So just lift out all the hard objects, melt them away with a lot of gold light. Lift out all the hard objects, melt them away with gold light. You can repair all of them at once if you want, with a composite copy of these 7 good karma windows. So just make one composite copy good karma window that just looks like one of these, and that you have it, but you have it represent all 7, and you just repair that just all at once. And repair the window frame flowy part in the middle of the good karma windows. So you're like, okay, well, that's safe then. There's no invasive energy that can get through those windows. But you want them unblocked enough too, so that your positive change energy can come through as well. So you can just imagine any blocks back here in the good karma windows, lift those blocks out and melt them away. Lift out the blocks and melt them away. So that's good karma window stuff, GKW. Which again, well, all this stuff back here helps with focus and quality of sleep. So like, for example, what's the difference? If you have damage back there, it may be that you wake up much more frequently at night than you would otherwise. So, and sometimes if you wake up, it could be that it got damaged in your sleep. Maybe you know, met your mother-in-law in the astral and had a fight with her and she got you good right there. So you could do a little quick repair, and then that way you have better sleep. Yeah, after that, most likely. So anyway, base of skull points. Those are right here. So all that goodness right there at the, so those 2 horizontal rows of dots, that's what I'm talking about. I say base of skull points. So you just use a lot of gold light. Each of those points is an acupuncture point, but it's a chakra, the minor chakra. So they have a standard chakra shape, open cylinder, right? And the chakra fits into the meridian to keep the energy flowing. The chakras are motors. They keep the flow going, and they generate energy. So just unblock and repair. These, especially minor chakras compared to the big 7, the minor chakras, it's so much easier for them to get crushed and like smushed. So you just use so much gold light that they uncrush. And you might find, and we could repair the back of the 5th chakra while we're at it, and the back of the 6th chakra while we're at it. Just a little extra. We already did it when we repaired all the chakras, but we do a little extra. So your 6th chakra, for vision, clairvoyance, and non-judgment. So the front of it is here, the back of it's back there. And then 5th chakra for communications, communicating with yourself, angels, other people, peace of mind, telepathy. The round opening is in the front and the round opening in the back of your neck. You may find as you repair this stuff that maybe you have less of a headache, or you have, you feel like less discomfort in your spine. But it doesn't, just because energy work helps the physical issues, you may also need physical care, physical level care, like going to a chiropractor maybe, or changing what you're eating, or maybe taking an herbal supplement for the headache, or stuff like that. It is nice that energy work can help. Also, going to an actual acupuncturist is very cool. I mean, this is free to just heal your meridians yourself, but Why does that say clear? It is nice that this is free, but having somebody who's got a ton of training, you know, in traditional Chinese medicine address your issues with acupuncture is pretty priceless if you're able to do that. Cool. So I'm repairing these meridians and the chakras within them, but I'm also combing through the back of the head and the back of the neck and combing outward to get a bunch of energy blocks that are healthy and gentle to get rid of, and just surrounding them with so much gold light. You can say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings hooked into this stuff? And then just keep using more and more gold light. Melt everybody out, and then the blocks melt. So again, back of your 6th chakra, back of your 5th chakra, you may need that sometimes, just a little extra individualized repair. Individual repair meaning, you know, because you can repair all your chakras at the same time, but then, you know, it's worth double checking and being like, okay, this one still feels weird. Let me repair it just by itself. Alrighty. So that's good enough. Good enough. I didn't talk about, I did it, but I should maybe talk about it. So the 5 auras, I'm blocking the 5 auras back there. So, add that. So the 5 auras, physical body, astral body are always important no matter where you're working. So like I noticed somebody in their survey, they were like, oh, I keep getting headaches, so I keep unblocking my gallbladder meridian, which, you know, is it's the outermost base of skull meridian, but it also does a lot of zigzaggy, cool pathway around the side of the head before it goes down the side of the body. So they were like, well, it seems like I'm constantly repairing this meridian and the Wei Qi aura for it. But if it's that constant, there's something maybe going on. And in her case, it was like she had a lot of blocks in her astral body aura in that area. And so that weakens, you know, any block in one aura can mess up the other auras. So just to say that, just to remind you that physical body aura and astral body aura are important everywhere. So anyway, so just around your head, we'll do all 5 auras. And we can do it in front of your head too for kicks. So physical body aura, unblock your physical body aura, check for any damage if you have any, repair it. Physical body aura all around your head and neck, in front and in back. Block. Astral body aura around your head and neck, in front and in back. Front and in back. And the sides. Astral body, head, and neck. Your astral body aura around your head and neck. You can say, angels, can you clear out any invasive beings in the way of this repair and unblocking? You can do a little spine work too. You know, your brain stem, and then you have all the vertebrae. You just want energy to be able to go nicely up and down from your spine to your brainstem, from your brainstem down to your spine. Your brainstem is the lowest part of your brain. You have any invasive beings messing with the flow between your brainstem and your spine, you can just imagine them all lined up and say, angels, can you recycle these invasive beings? Deep breath. So then urinary bladder meridian, well, governing vessel one, that's the one that goes up the midline of the back and hooks around, ends in the roof of the mouth. So that governing vessel meridian Wei Chi aura, just real quickly unblock that all around your head and neck. Check that it's full and it doesn't have any rips. If it has rips, go ahead and repair the rips. Governing vessel meridian Wei Chi in your head. And then urinary bladder, UB, is the yellow lines there. Starts in the inner corner of your eye, goes up and over and branches into 4 branches going down your back and into down your legs. So just double check your urinary bladder meridian Wei Chi aura. It's the aura to nourish and protect this urinary bladder meridian. Goes all around you. Unblock it. Use cold light all around your urinary bladder meridian Wei Chi aura, all around your neck and head. The angels, if there's any invasive beings in the way of this repair, can you recycle them? Okay, and then gallbladder meridian, I already mentioned that. That's the blue-green one, the outermost base of skull meridian, and it zigzags around the head, side of head, and then side of body. So just come through. You just do a quick repair, you know, locally with your hands on your head. That's kind of easy. You could do a copy out in front of you too, of course. Unblock the sides of your head for your gallbladder meridian Wei Chi aura. Unblock all around your head and neck. And again, you want that intention healthy and gentle. And do what's healthy and gentle to do right now. All right. So think about your brain and your spine. All right. Good job. Good job. So that was the geeky detailed version of the back of head stuff. Woohoo. All right. So woo, we did, that is the end of the 5 essentials part of the healing. All right, so now we'll do the rest of the stuff. I'm going to have to do some wardrobe changes here. All right. So I explained this, how we're going to do a little bit of traditional Chinese medicine stuff. That's what TCM stands for, traditional Chinese medicine. And but we'll do it in a low tech version. Just not because just because it's kind of effective in an interesting way for being so low tech, low detail. So that's nice. So anyway, first we'll do just all your traditional Chinese medicine stuff. So all your organ systems, all your meridians, including the internal and external pathways of those meridians, the whole thing. So all your TCM stuff at once as a river. And we'll do gentle, healthy and gentle. So whatever is healthy and gentle to clear right now. We will do. But it's interesting. It gives you a sense of, how you're doing in an easy way to work on it. So you just imagine as a river, all your, traditional Chinese medicine organ systems and stuff, and just see how your river looks and use gold light from your hands. And you can use red earth energy from the core of the earth and nourish the river. Notice, do you feel like it has enough energy in it? You feel like it's flowing at a healthy pace? And if not, just use lots of gold light and red earth energy. You feel like it's stuck at a certain part, just use a lot of gold light. And for me, I prefer only to see the clogs that are healthy and gentle to clear right now. So I wouldn't want to imagine all the clogs that are healthy and gentle to clear like within the next year right now, because I might accidentally clear too much, right? So just see what's healthy and gentle right now to work on right now, right? So see the clogs that are okay to clear right now and just use gold light and melt them away. And if there's anywhere where the river like drains and gets it goes to somebody else or anything like that, just melt away the leaking so that your river of your body's vitality stays for your body. If you're pregnant, I think there is a little bit that can go to, your infant, developing infant within you. But if you're not carrying a child, then, I don't think, even if you have a young child, I don't think your body vitality goes to them. There may be like a teeny one, a teeny river that goes to like your young child. But you can just say, angels, can you heal that so that it's just the appropriate healthy amount for both of us? That kind of idea. But if you're not pregnant, or you're not currently pregnant, or you don't have a young child, then definitely your body's river is only for your body. So just, if it all of a sudden diverts and gets really measly after that, heal it so that it doesn't divert and it just stays for you. And there can be clogs that, you use your intuition as you're working on it, and it's like, oh, I can tell it's from a certain time in my life. But if you're seeing with your intention of healthy and gentle, then whatever you're seeing, it's okay to clear it. So it's not like, oh, sure, just, when you were 12, it really sucked, but you don't have to keep the blocks in place. So just melt the blocks that are healthy and gentle to get rid of, regardless of when they are from. You can check for dumped energy from other people. That's a common thing that might clog up your river. So just melt away any dumped energy out of your river. And if you feel like the river is just like, only half as powerful as it should be for your body's vitality, or maybe even less than that if you're dealing with something, check at the start of the river and see if there's any clogs or any, walls restricting, and just use a lot of gold light so that the river can be a healthy amount for you and your body. As healthy as possible. All right, good job. So that was healing all your, traditional Chinese medicine organ stuff, the organs, the meridians, everything. It just says one river. So now we will do 2 rivers. So one will be internal. And one will be the external pathways, meaning the meridians, each meridian, like say your stomach meridian, that has a pathway that you see a lot of times on a diagram, but it also has internal branches that go deep within and link up organs together and link to other meridians and do all sorts of cool stuff. So you can just compare and contrast, so one river, and you can have the rivers, sort of form a circle if you want, or just 2 rivers side by side. It doesn't really matter. But just check to see if they're flowing nicely and they have enough energy and they're unblocked. So the internal river for your internal organs in traditional Chinese medicine, and the meridian pathways that are within your body, deep within. So check that out. And sometimes it's interesting to compare too, which is why I'm doing 2 at the same time. So the other river is all your external pathways. External meaning just beneath the surface of your skin, the regular meridian pathways that most people know about. So one is your external meridian pathways river, and one is your internal organs and pathways river. And if you find a clog, just spend a little time with it. You can say, angels, if there are any invasive beings in the way, can you recycle them? Melt people out of the way. And if you find the whole river is just impressively low on energy, look towards the start of the river and see if there's, any big rocks or something, and just melt them away. And once your intuition says, okay, that's enough, that's healthy and gentle amount, then that's that. And you can always do more later. You can say, angels, help me to work on this more later with you. So that way, maybe if you don't have the discipline to use this video later, you just can subconsciously work on it with you, maybe in your sleep or subconsciously while you're awake doing things somewhat mindless. So then the third one we're doing, the final TCM one we're doing, is 2 rivers again, but so one river for yin stuff and one river for yang stuff. So some meridians are more yin in nature, some are more yang in nature, and same thing with the organ that goes with that meridian. So you don't have to know which is which, just imagine your yin river representing all your yin stuff and your yang river representing all your yang stuff, and just see, are they equally strong? Do they equally support each other, or not? Does one need unblocking? Does the other one need unblocking? And it's possible that one's kind of wild because the other one isn't strong enough. So it helps to work both of them and just notice. And you can just scoop out any invasive energies and give them to your angels. Angels, here you go. So just scoop through both rivers, kind of like with a filter, you know, and just scoop through all the invasive energies that are healthy and gentle to get rid of. Angels, here you go. Scoop through. Angels, here you go. And you can lift out the blocks that are healthy and gentle to get rid of out of both your yin and your yang rivers. And again, angels, if there's any invasive beings in the way, can you recycle them and just melt these blocks? So you have a river for your yin organ systems and meridians and a river for your yang organ systems and meridians. And you just lift out the energy blocks that are healthy and gentle to get rid of from both rivers. Angels, if there are any invasive energies linked to this stuff, can you recycle them? And you can melt people away from the blocks and melt the blocks. And just use lots of gold light. You can bring up red earth energy and nurture and nourish both of these rivers, your yin river and your yang river. And if you want, you can just get a sense of like, okay, well, is there one aspect, either the yin or the yang aspect that you need to is there something that you need to do? Like maybe you need to journal a little bit to nurture your yin inner reflective space, or maybe you need to throw out some stuff that's been in your way for a long time to kind of validate your self-assertive yang aspect. As a little, generalizations, but you get it. So just see if there's something, some action, or even just something quiet, like music or, something subtle that you need to do to help either of these rivers. All right, good job. Do some butterflies to celebrate. Hey, good job, good job. So this is to clear denial, and it'll be nice and easy and straightforward. So we're going to be clearing unhealthy denial in the way of progress, right? As I explained in the beginning. Let's see. Okay, so UDIWP, there's no way I'm going to remember that like a day from now, what that stands for. But at this moment, I'm saying it stands for unhealthy denial in the way of progress, right? So what you do is just imagine an unhealthy denial in the way of progress, an image that represents your unhealthy denial in the way of progress that is totally healthy and gentle to get rid of right now, right? So you imagine that as a wall and a door right in front of you. So it's like if you get rid of the door and the wall, then you can move forward really easily, right? So rather than being like trying to open the door, just melt the door, melt the whole wall. So you have this nice forward, easy, wide pathway forward, right? So what we're going to do, you could always use gold light, but I've found that if you use a nourishing technique that involves self-love and clarity, that it melts a lot easier, more easily. So we will use gold, but we will use self-love and clarity flowers too, which is kind of cute too. So it's effective and cute. Oh, nice. Right? So just imagine, I mean, first check your grounding, you know, redo your grounding if you need to, right? Double check your grounding, make sure it's nice and wide and flowing, right? You can bring up red, orange, red earth energy, orange earth energy, yellow earth energy. Just soak everything in earth energy, right? Nice wide grounding. Okay, good enough. So just imagine a wall and a door in that wall, a closed door and a big wall in front of you that represents unhealthy denial in the way of progress. UDIWP, unhealthy denial in the way of progress, okay? And so you want to get rid of that wall, right? So first, we'll do it mindfully. So first, just say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings or invasive energies that are linked up to this wall and this door? So that way it's a lot less drama to clear it. So angels, can you recycle any invasive energies linked up to this, right? And then use gold light and melt cords from people that might be cording this wall and this door, right? So melt cords from people, melt their energy out of the wall and the door. The unhealthy denial in the way of progress, wall and door, right? And then you could use so much gold light and see if it fully melts. But in case it doesn't, we have a nice thing to try, which is you make energy healing flowers out of universal healing energy and you set them to a vibration that is self-love and clarity for yourself, right? Your own self-love and clarity, right? So it's going to nourish your clarity and nourish your self-love, right? And you can say, angels, can you double check these flowers? And then go ahead and give them to the wall. Give them to the wall and the door, in addition to the gold light, right? So self-love and clarity, and give it to the denial. And then just breathe. You know, you can give yourself gold light. You can give self-love and clarity flowers to yourself. Say, angels, can you check the flowers? And give, I mean, technically you are giving them to yourself as you give them to the wall and the door, but you can also give them direct. And then just check, see if that wall and door is all gone now. And just see how that feels without that in your way. So we'll do that one more time. So unblock your grounding. Imagine your grounding out in front, a copy of your grounding out in front of you, going all the way down to the core of the earth, nice and wide, and make sure you unblock it with gold light from your hands. Right. And so you imagine and we're not like creating more denial. We're just imagining the denial that you already have that is healthy and gentle to get rid of right now, that is in the way of your progress, right? So imagine that denial and imagine it as a wall and a door, closed door in front of you. And then just say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings linked up to this? So your angels recycle any invasive energies linked up to it. And then use gold light and melt people, melt their cords out, melt their energy out. Some people may be trying to help and they're just kind of, they just get tangled up in it sort of by accident. So just wash everybody out of the wall and the closed door. And then you can just keep using so much gold light that you melt the wall and the door, or you could blow it up if you want. But I found it might be nice and powerful for you to just make your self-love and clarity flowers. So just use universal healing energy, which would be gold and rainbow colors and just set it to self-love and clarity, to a vibration that's going to nurture your self-love and your clarity. And say, angels, can you check my flowers? And then just let them soak into this wall and the door. And maybe you need a little extra gold light. Maybe you don't. Maybe it's already melted. And if it didn't melt, just say, angels, can you help me clear this? Or you can one fun way too, and your door is probably gone already, but if it weren't, you could just compact it to like really tiny and then destroy it with gold light. Or compact it really tiny and then say, angels, here you go. That's always fun. Or if you don't feel like compacting it, you can just lift it all up. Angels, here you go. Because it's just energy. It's easy. All right. Good job. Good job. So deep breath. How does that feel? So, joy. I talked about this in the intro, and this could be triggering for people, but we'll clear the triggers, so it's fine. It's worth working on for sure. But a lot of people don't have joy in their life. Or they maybe like, they don't even expect to have joy in their life. Maybe they think that's for kids or that's for, the wealthy who don't have to work every day, or it's for, or it's for vacation. Joy is for when you go on vacation, or joy is for, during holidays, right? It's not the daily part. So I'm not saying every day, all day is a party, or even that it could be, but I think that joy is, it's sort of like a gradient. So there could be degrees of joyfulness and levity and playfulness that you can infuse into your daily life much more and more. And it could help your mood and your immune system of your physical body, your sleep, all sorts of things. And it could have a nice effect on those around you too. So here, first, just, check your grounding, redo your grounding, both groundings, make them both red or orange or yellow, whatever's going to help you release the most to the core of the earth. right? And make a copy out in front of you of both your groundings. Make them nice and wide as all your auras, and make them come up high as your third chakra below your sternum. Okay, so bring your groundings up that high all around you, right? And comb through your groundings with gold light from your hands all the way down, melt away any blocks in your grounding. You want to be able to release, right? You want to be able to let go. Okay, so go ahead and stay here. Right? Don't go away. Stay here. Maybe move your body a little so you can feel that, you're here. And just imagine out in front of you an image of where is your joy in your daily life? Like the joyful parts of you, where are they in your daily life? And you may see something literal, you may see something highly metaphorical, but just kind of rescue the joyful parts of you. So maybe the joyful parts of you are hiding somewhere, maybe they're far away. Maybe you have joyful parts of you already in your daily life, but just kind of notice that. So how much of your joy do you have in your daily life, and how much of it is kind of somewhere else? And just keep breathing. Just recognize, you don't have to be perfect. It is okay, and you can always heal and make baby steps, right? So go ahead and give all these joyful parts of you healings. So the parts of you that already are in your daily life that are joyful, you can give them a healing. Why not? Some little red earth energy and gold light. And the joyful parts of you that are not in your daily life, where are they? Maybe they're like metaphorically far away, well, literally far away, scattered. So give a healing to the far away, joyful parts of you. Give a healing to, like, maybe you imagine that a joyful part of you is kind of like hiding. So you can give a healing to that joyful part of you that's hiding. Try to be comforting as you use gold light and red earth energy, or orange or yellow earth energy if you want. It's okay. Just say nice things. It's okay. It's okay. Sometimes we use this image of like a prison, and then we melt your prison. So we could do that. So there could be parts of you that are not, that are restricted to the point where, you don't feel that joy in your daily life. So you can imagine, joyful parts of you, if it exists, that joyful parts of you are overly restricted. You can imagine those parts of you in a little prison cell, and then go ahead and use gold light and melt away the prison cell. You can say, angels, help me do this in a healthy and gentle way. And just use gold light and melt away the prison cell so that you're liberating this joyful part of you. So, and if the prison cell didn't melt away, you can just lift it up and give it to your angels. Angels, can you help me with this? Right? And then just give a nice healing to that liberated, joyful part of you. And that part of you can just pixelate and melt away, and you can get that energy back. That won't be separate from the bigger part of you. You could have a joyful part of you that is like waiting for you in the future, because maybe you figured, oh, well, once this happens and this happens and this happens, then I can have my joy. But it's stronger for you to have your joy now. I mean, sure, you know, it's possible that it will be easier to feel more joy in the future at the time you're thinking in the future. But if you give a healing to that part of you, that joyful part of you that's waiting in the future, and just let that part of you know it's okay to be in the present. So any joyful parts of you that are waiting in the future, just give those parts of you a healing. So you're not forcing anything, but you know, maybe with a healing, they wouldn't wait in the future. You'd get that energy back in the present. And there could be joyful parts of you that are stuck in the past, maybe the past from this life or the past from the past life, a past life. So just imagine some joyful parts of you that are stuck in the past and give them nice little healings. And it could be that you were around somebody that sometimes people have these expressions, you know, I don't often use them, but like, you know, vampires or whatever, like, oh, it's an energy vampire or blah, blah, blah. And sometimes I feel like it's a little bit victim-y, like people don't acknowledge their own aura damage and chakra damage and what they can do to have strong boundaries. They just think, well, it's this absolute, of course, if I'm around the vampire, then I'm going to lose all my energy. So I don't like that. But it is true, though, that some people, maybe on purpose or by accident, they can take some of your joy energy. And maybe you never took it back. So you can go ahead and I'm talking about your unique life force of joy. So it's not going to do them any good anyway. I mean, unless they're just like playing some weird head game with you, then they feel like it's worth it for them. But it's not going to help you for sure, for other people to hold your joy, right? So go ahead and you can make a gold magnet, some kind of gold 3D object, either a sphere or a U-shaped cartoon magnet or, you know, a cube or a pyramid, whatever shape you like, you know, but it's gold and make it a magnet so that you use it to call back your joy energy from wherever it went. You know, future, past, and especially from people that took it. So, and then you can just say, angels, can you help me clean this off? And then give it back to yourself. All right, good job, good job. So that is to help you to have more joy in your daily life. And I did say in the intro discussion section that working joy is not necessarily something that's going to instantly make you joyful, because you're learning, like, where did my joy go? Why did it go there? You know, and that could make you pissed off, you know, that your joy went somewhere, or make you sad that your joy went somewhere. You know, even though you get it back, you know, it could be a bit of a lag where you're like, I wish I had more joy the last 10 years, you know? So there could be a little processing time, but now what we're going to do is help with that. So we're going to heal emotion, right? And so that will help Well, you know what? First, let's clear STEBs. That's easy. Okay, so that's kind of a super simple way to clear energy blocks that could have been triggered by the exercise that we just did, or just by life, by news, by whatever, right? So stubborn triggered energy blocks is, you know, what STEBs means, stubborn triggered energy blocks. So it's just energy blocks that are triggered on any level in your space that are bugging you, right? Making you upset or anxious or confused or sleepy or cranky or whatever. Unfocused. So just make big piles out in front of you of whatever energy blocks are triggered for you right now, and bring up red earth energy and soak those energy blocks in red earth energy. Use a lot of gold light. And you can say, angels, if there are any invasive beings connected to these energy blocks, can you recycle them? And use gold light and melt cords from people going into these energy blocks. And then just finish melting the blocks themselves. Or you can, you know, once people are washed out of them, you could blow them up too if you want. Couple deep breaths. So we could do that again faster. So put the copies of energy blocks out in front of you, red earth energy, gold light, angels, can you recycle beings, melt the cords, and blow everything up, or just keep melting it. All right, good job, good job, good job. So now we will heal emotion. Okay, so you can do this a bunch of different ways, but this might be a nice easy way to do it. Otherwise you could just pile energy blocks out in front of you if you prefer that. Like emotional stuck energy blocks, and clear them. But you can imagine mini yous, little versions of you that represent the parts of you that are stuck emotionally. So in excessive emotion, so like excessive sadness, excessive anger. We could lump in anxiety in that too. So excessive anxiety, just, you know, whatever. All the parts of you that are stuck in emotionally stuck. And just imagine the amount that's healthy and gentle. So maybe you're looking at just one mini you, maybe you're looking at a dozen mini yous, whatever you feel like is no big deal for you to work on right now. And just notice as you're using gold light and red earth energy to heal these parts of you. You know, are some of these parts of you stuck in rage or, you know, super frustrated? Are some of these parts stuck in fear or, you know, grief, excessive grief? And just use lots of gold light. You can say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings at all related to me being stuck in these states? Lots of gold light. You can speak in a comforting way to these parts of you. Hey, it's all right. You deserve a healing. It's okay. And I do want to again say it's not that you need to make these parts of you not angry at all or not sad at all, because some things are just sad, some things are just angering, and it's really not terrible if you have a moderate, mellow, centered emotion of anger or sadness. So I think you will do better healing these extremely stuck parts of you by not saying, oh, well, cheer up, be happy, just like be like, hey, I get you, I understand, it's okay, I acknowledge how you're feeling, I acknowledge this part of me, I acknowledge how I'm feeling. Because a lot of times, it's the repression, it's the denial, it's the turning away, like shoving it down that makes it so extreme. So just be like, hey, I get it. I understand. And just use lots of gold light. And as these parts of you mellow and are no longer sort of stuck in extreme states, then the energy dissolves so you get the energy back. So building on what we said about how the lack of acknowledgement, the sort of the turning away from these angry parts of you, or the sad parts of you, or the concerned parts of you. You can have states that are not actually super stuck, but you're still denying them and avoiding them. And that's not healthy, right? So just imagine mini yous that maybe are not stuck, they're just emotional mini yous, right? So that you can acknowledge and say, hey, I get you, I recognize you, I respect this part of my emotional continuum. So just imagine little parts of you that are experiencing different emotions. And you can say angels, if there are any invasive beings making this all more dramatic and stuck, can you recycle them? And you can use earth energy, red or orange or yellow earth energy. You can use gold light, and you can notice, and say, hey, I get it. You're right to be concerned. You have legitimate concerns. You have legitimate, your grief is legitimate. Your sadness is legitimate. Your anger is legitimate. Sometimes it just is more centering. It is more centering that way and more strengthening that way. And sometimes once you acknowledge that state, then you kind of move out of it. But if you don't acknowledge it, it's just always there. I'm looking at something for a second. Mm. Okay, so non-resistance is really awesome and helpful and strengthening. And it's possible to have the opposite of that, resistance, right? But not resistance in the sense of like political, sticking up for freedom and stuff, but resistance as in like, this inner clenching and tension that's just unhealthy. So you might be resisting your own emotions. that you actually have. So it's like you're fighting yourself for, and it's very it can make you numb, it can make you overly like wired. It can have a whole bunch of different symptoms, but let's just clear your resistance to your own emotion, because there's no point in freaking out about your own emotion, right? It's not going to make it go away. It's just going to make you have two problems then. Then you have your emotional baggage, and then you also resist. Right? So just imagine, kind of like we clear STEBs, just pile up all the energy blocks that cause you to resist your own emotions. And just melt away your energy blocks that cause you to resist and judge and reject your own emotions. And I don't mean like by emotions, I don't mean like, oh, I cried nonstop tonight for 4 hours. That's not what I'm talking about for like healthy emotion. If you cry nonstop for 4 hours, chances are your blood sugars crash. Maybe something is really wrong. That's not like a normal emotional state. Wrong as in you're not a bad person, but that's not something that is like, oh, I'm so healthy. I cried for 4 hours. You know, like that's not what we're aiming for. you know, something's off. Maybe eat some protein. Stop having so much sugar. Get some rest. Like, are you hydrated? Something is off there. So, but anyway, so just line up all the baggage causing you to resist your own emotions. Maybe you're resisting your own anger. Maybe you're resisting your own sadness or grief. Maybe you're resisting your own fear, which, sometimes I wouldn't define that as an emotion, but we will today. So whatever's causing you to resist your own emotional or mental states, just melt the resistance so that you can just be more neutral and wise and centered about it all. All right, good job, good job. All right. I thought of another good one. So that was just clearing resistance to your own emotions, right? But now we'll do clear resistance to other people. Okay, so this one's pretty common, where people might not be freaked out by their own anger, but if someone around them is angry, that could set off all sorts of fear and anxiety and baggage and whatever, right? Within them. In which case they may like overgive to everyone and, or they may just be avoidant or whatever, like weird imbalances. So, you don't have to resist other people's sadness or fear or anger or whatever. But you might. And so we can pile out in front of you any energy blocks, any inner baggage that causes you to resist other people's emotional or mental states. And melt the baggage. Melt your baggage, causing you to resist other people's emotions. Because sometimes, maybe somebody dumps a copy of their grief in your space. If you're in resistance, it'll stick. If you don't resist their grief, you're much more likely to just kind of whisk it out of your space. So melt your resistance to other people's emotions. Their emotions isn't your problem to fix. It's very common for people to be like, oh, this is what I'm worried about, chunk, and they give you a copy of it. So just go ahead and melt. Also, if you have copies of other people's emotional baggage in your space. You can go ahead and melt that. Let's do that too. So if you have copies of other people's emotional baggage in your space, just make big piles of it out in front of you. And then just use so much gold light. You can say, angels, if there's any invasive energies at all linked up to this junk, can you recycle that? Recycle them and just melt everybody out of these piles, melt cords going into these piles. It's really important. You don't want to like just blow them all up when you know your relative or your friend's energy is like really in the pile, because that could be a little jarring for them in a way that would blow back on you because they'll whack you. So just pile out in front of all the copies of everyone else's emotional baggage that you got in your space. Either you took it on or they gave it to you when they were talking to you or whatever. And then just red earth energy, gold light, angels, please recycle any invasive beings linked up to this stuff, melt everybody out. And then you can just keep melting all the piles fully. Or once everybody's out of the junk, you can just blow it all up. And if there's any left over, just wrap it up in gold light, give it to your angels. Angels, here you go. Can you help me with that? All right. So good job. Let's wrap up. Okay. So let's get that biker shorts image on the screen because that always makes me smile. Biker shorts. There we go. Look at that. So again, these are models, first of all, and second of all, this is a heavily photoshopped image. So if you don't look quite so perfect, you could forgive yourself, I think. So let's see. Um, well, I guess it's pretty obvious that we're working biker shorts. Well, okay, so we'll do clear steps first. So put out in front of you copies of any energy blocks that are still triggered right now, bugging you consciously, subconsciously, whatever. And then bring up red earth energy to soak them in the red earth energy from the core of the earth. And say, angels, can you recycle any invasive energies hooked into this junk? And then melt cords from people going into this baggage. Melt everybody out of the any energy blocks so that you can just melt the blocks really easily. If they don't melt, you can blow them up. If they don't blow up, just wrap them in gold light. Give them to your angels. Say, angels, can you help me with all that? We'll do it again really fast. So put copies of blocked energy out in front of you. Red earth energy, gold light, melt the cords. Angels, can you recycle invasive energies? And just use so much gold light that it'll. Or wrap it up, give it to your angels. Angels, can you help me with it? And then biker shorts, unblocking. So biker shorts unblocking, that means this whole area. So not only that part of your body that's covered by a biker shorts, but within there, the meridians, the chakras, and the auras around that area too. All your 17 auras, they go all around you, so they are in that area. So let's do it. Gold light, red earth energy, bring up the red earth energy. You can do a tricolor soak for your biker shorts area if you want. Bring up red earth energy, bring up orange earth energy from the core of the earth, bring up yellow earth energy from the core of the earth. Your second chakra is the one that relates to emotions and sexuality, and that is in your biker shorts area. So if your belly button's right there, it's below your belly button. So you can imagine your second chakra. This is the chakra shape, right? Round opening in the front, round opening in the back. Energy flows in the front, spins around, flows out the back, and wraps around the second layer all the way to come in the front, and then goes in the front all over again. Unblock your second chakras. Unblock your layers of your astral and physical body. Auras. Your biker shorts area. First and second chakras. Unblock your auras in front of your tummy. Unblock your groundings. All right. A few deep breaths. If you want, you could use some affirmations about moving forward, right? Because we're in this healing, we're clearing denial in order to inspire progress. So you could say something like, I'm going to let my angels help me make progress. Because your angels are always trying to help, night and day. But, if you let your angels help, let my angels help me progress. Say, I'm going to let my angels help me heal my emotions. I'm going to let my angels help me respect and acknowledge my own emotions. And I'm going to let my angels help me respect and acknowledge my own sexuality. And then you could just say, angels, can you help me wrap up this healing? Deep breaths. All right. Good job. Good job. That's a healing. Woohoo. You're a rock star. Yay. All right. Oh, let's see. Okay, so we'll the healing's done, and I'll just take a quick break. If you need a restroom break, bathroom break, and then I'll turn the camera back on, and I'll probably do a teeny bit of stretching. But it's not like a class on stretching. I'm not a teacher with, mobility. So if you want to do any stretching, just do whatever you want. And then we'll do a little Q&A on energy healing topics. You have comments about how the healing was for you, comments about the theme, follow-up question about something that we discussed in this healing. So yeah, that's it. Let's do it. So I'll get rid of the camera so you don't have to stare at my empty chair while I'm gone. Okie doke, I'll be right back. If you're wondering, those are nasturtium leaves, and those are ladybugs. I'm back. So I'm going to do just a moment of stretching, and then we'll do the Q&A. Hello, 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 hello. All right. Okie dokie. I'm going to look for comments I haven't read yet. So yeah, thanks for those comments about the video that if you refresh the page, that made the video be less choppy. That's fascinating. I don't know why that would be the case. Someone says hello from Florida. Loved the melt denial door and wall blocking progress healing technique. Yeah, a lot of words. It's 48 degrees in Florida. Oops. I mean, that would be nice for us, but that seems a little cool for Florida, right? Well, good to know. Interesting. I'm glad you liked the the melt denial door and wall blocking progress healing technique. uh, thank you, Janet. I feel mellow and more alert. Ooh, interesting. That's a good combo. Was really tired earlier from 2 long days in a row at work. I think the emotions work and joy work will help me move a bit faster on my new job/move. That sounds good. Thanks for the feedback on how you're doing. That's interesting. Oops. Faster on my new job move path. Am I reading that right? I'll also be working my astral body aura around my head more. Yes. Yes, I noticed that when I was reading your survey. Sometimes if you have an area that just keeps getting damaged, there's probably something that you're missing in the repair, like some hard objects, one of the extra auras you're not noticing that needs repair or needs unblocking, or something's up. I mean, it is true that people will have like favorite places to get, so maybe somebody's sister likes messing with your knees and somebody's dad likes messing with the shoulders, but if it's so easy every time for them to just slice through like butter, something's really wrong. As far as, there's too many hard objects there weakening the idea. Anyway, so that person was wondering if the emotions and joy work will help with the new job move progress. Yeah, I think that idea of emotion that you're not acknowledging, like mini yous that are feeling different emotions and acknowledging those emotions, I think that could definitely help. Because it seems like, you're wanting to create a new life that is really healthy for you, and so I think that's a healthy thing to do, to just acknowledge like, oh, I feel this way and I feel this way and I feel this way, rather than, I mean, it's nice to have discipline and focus and be like, okay, I'm going to keep applying for jobs, but sometimes, you as a side thing to kind of support that, you got to kind of look at, okay, well, how do I really feel, and just heal these different parts of me and respect how I feel and acknowledge them, so I think that the healing the different emotion parts of you, the joy, yeah, I mean, the joy in everyday life, because that's a big part of what you're trying to transition to. You're trying to transition to a lifestyle and a job that is more conducive to your joy. But I think a lot of that's from within, actually, and so yeah, I think you're right. Both of those things that we were working today in this healing could really help you, yeah, help with the whole thing for jobs and moves. Someone says, thanks. I felt drained at the end of my workday. Feel zen now. Feel a little bit victimy because I thought my male boss today at work maybe didn't think highly of me or my performance. Not sure if this is accurate read or fourth chakra blocks or shame blocks. Am I in 7 through 2? How did my spouse do? Well, you didn't give your initials for your male boss. That would make it slightly easier for me, but I think you were having trouble understanding him on a spirit level. And it could be that he was not conveying what he wanted accurately enough. Because I see him showing you, okay, I want ABC. And you're like, DEFG, DEFG. I'm doing DEFG. How do you like it? And he's like, I want ABC. And you're like, DEFG, DEFG. Like just like a representation of like, the energy vibration. And he was kind of exasperated. I don't know if he's conscious of it, but it just looks like it was like a disconnect between what he's looking for and the vibration that you were at. So I think just clear blocks around communication with him, like whatever baggage triggers causing you to not hear accurately about, because people, they probably aren't great communicators, and so if you already have baggage trigger that causes you to mishear what they're saying on a spirit level, and then it makes it even more complicated. So I think there's some clearing that you can do so that when he says ABC, that you actually hear ABC, because then I think it just, then the communication is more validating for both of you and way easier. So I think it had something to do with how you didn't quite hear him and you kept repeating your thing, and he was just like, dude, that's not at all what I said. So I don't know, it'd be, that's just a simplified energy version of it. But yeah, so for homework, what you could do is just look at what triggers in your space that causes you to mishear him. I don't think it's male supervisors in general. I think it's just him. You know, everybody's different. They have different past lives. They have different communication styles. So for some reason, when he says stuff, you don't quite hear it in the way that he intends to communicate it. So, but yeah, if you just clear blocks for, you know, a couple days, give yourself healing flowers so that you can hear him accurately. You know, like have your angels check them, you know, so, to like nourish your ability to hear. Yeah. So I hope that makes sense. I mean, your angels say it's workable. It's just you gotta work on your hearing. And I do think that I think you're telepathing another question. Do you sometimes mishear your husband? And I think that's true too. I don't think you mishear all men. But yeah, you could work the same thing as far as hearing what your husband is trying to communicate. There's just clear baggage in the way of you accurately hearing what, you know, your male boss is trying to convey and what your husband is trying to convey. Are you in 7 through was it 4th chakra blocks or shame blocks? I don't really like, you know, I don't think we have to say, oh, it was 4th chakra only, or it was only past life only, or whatever. You know, just clear all the blocks so that you can hear very accurately. Are you in 7 through now? I think you're in 7 through 1, actually. Maybe you weren't before I said all that. Maybe, yeah, you were in 7 through 2 when you typed the question, but then now you're in 7 through 1. You're in all your chakras right now. How did your spouse do? He likes that thing about you clearing energy so you can hear him more accurately, because he says that does happen sometimes. I mean, I'm sure he's no saint either. He has issues that he can work on. But he's feeling very validated right now. That sometimes you're not hearing him accurately. Okay, but how did he do with the healing? It's kind of, it was new territory for him, some of it, you know, the whole acknowledging your emotions and, you know, the parts of your emotion, like stop turning away from your emotions and it respecting different emotions that you have. And it's not his forte. Sometimes he'll just kind of, you know, have the overblown, stuck version of the emotion, and that's what he thinks of as his emotions. So this distinction between, you know, healthy, flowing, centered emotion and, you know, stuck extreme emotion. He's working on it. I mean, his angels really like this theme for him. So cool. Let's see. This says, thank you so much, Janet. Feel pretty great. I keep asking the angels about my work change and income repeatedly. It seems like they want me to completely leave. Completely leave the clinic at the end of June for private practice and not stay on for at a lower percentage of time, not to take insurance, but to be a Medicare non-participating provider. Am I reading that right? I mean, that's so detailed. That's stuff that you should be reading on your own. I don't want the responsibility of being like, yes, this is exactly what you should do with the next 2 years of your life. You know, because I'm a fallible person, you know, so you gotta, that's on you to read that accurately. I'll see what I can do as far as reading something that's, you know. I mean, if I ask your angels what's going on with that question, they sort of say that you're getting mired in the details and you're not really clearing enough of your fear and um your fears and also like other people in the workplace. Your clients, you've pretty much cleared them out, so they're not impacting your ability to have clarity and make decisions on this stuff. But the other work colleagues, like at a level above you in hierarchy and a peer level and work colleagues that are like beneath you in hierarchy, all of those work colleagues, you kind of have some boundary issues with some of them. So they're kind of in your head. And then you have some of your fears triggered and uncleared. So they're actually wanting you to just, keep working the underlying stuff versus like fixating on, okay, is it this detail? Is it this detail? Is it this detail? Because that really doesn't define your abundance, whether it's June or July or September or this or that or this or that. It's the underlying stuff. Do you have your space? Do you have your boundaries? What's your vibration? So they're trying to get you to pull back from, I mean, unless you have to sign a document tomorrow with a whole bunch of details, they're like, just pull back from the details. And even if you do, pull back from the details and work the fundamentals in order to work a layer underneath that, getting boundaries with colleagues and clearing fear, and unblock your 7th to 8th connection more about it. Because it's not exactly about the details, like there's like half a dozen ways you could do it where it would work out fine. It's just that, it's the vibe. It's, your vibe, it's your internal climate and your boundaries. So hope that makes sense. That's why they're just trying to walk you back from the details, so that you focus on the underlying, the boundaries and the clearing fear and the 7th to 8th connection stuff. Hope that makes sense. Someone says, do I have invasive beings pretending to be my male anger right now? Oh, that's an interesting point. Yeah, you can have like invasive beings that pretend to be like an angry part of you or a sad part of you. So like if you have this part of you that just never heals, sometimes it's just some invasive beings trying to play games with you. Which is interesting. Some people are more prone to that than others. Some people that never happens, and it's always just a part of them and they heal it and it resolves. But some people, that's a very predominant situation that keeps happening, that they'll have like a bunch of beings in their space pretending to be cranky or pretending to be this or that. And then they confuse it with how they feel. And then they just leave it there because they're like, well, I guess I just feel angry, So anyway, but you in general, yeah, you do have a couple. I can hear clearly, but it doesn't feel quite right in my intuition. Yeah. So yes, you do. You just have your angels recycle them. I mean, you can just say, whenever you're in doubt, just say, angels, if this is not me, can you recycle all this, And then obviously if it's a part of you, your angels won't recycle it, Or you could just wrap it all in gold light and say, angels, help me with all that, So then if it's some beings, they'll recycle it. If it's, you, then they'll just give you a little healing and you'll get your energy back. But yeah, you are right though, that sometimes that can happen for sure. So good catch. Someone says, I enjoyed the balanced way of simple and detailed techniques. I had fun with all the TCM stuff, specifically 2 rivers, yin and yang. I love the nurturing with flowers over the leftovers of denial walls. Oh yeah. The denial walls, and then you melt them away actually with flowers, self-love and clarity flowers. The joy part was fun. Well, that's good. I was concerned that the joy part might be kind of overly triggering for people. But the emotions work, that was wow for me. I have to do that in repeat. Well, that sounds good. So I'm glad you enjoyed some parts of the healing. Thanks for the feedback. Someone says they mentioned of one of their loved ones was in a meeting for most of the healing. Did the meeting interfere with the healing? No. Was he a good newbie? Any newbie's a good newbie. I mean, it's really hard for me to have an issue with a client, have a significant issue with a client. I mean, there's a continuum of how people are. So, but yeah, he was pretty low drama. I mean, some people, they get like their angels kind of work on them with it that night in their sleep. That's why I tend to send out the surveys later and encourage people to fill them out the day after the healing, because it's like you kind of like finish up, and kind of work on it a little more with your angels in your sleep, and then you kind of, your body gets to adjust and rest and everything, so you see more results the next day. So he's definitely on the do part now, do part in my sleep kind of plan. Which is fine. But yeah, his angels are happy about it. Was he a good newbie? All newbies are good newbies. Someone says, thank you for the feedback about emotions work for new job move. I've had a lot of trouble identifying how I'm actually feeling my whole life. So cool. I read that right. My therapist had me use a feelings wheel, which is a cool tool. Just thought I'd share it as it applies to this work. Well, if that works for you, that's pretty cool. So kind of like a multiple choice. How do you feel? Do you feel A, frustrated? Do you feel B, worried? Do you feel C, conflicted? Do you feel D, pissed off? Someone says, I have worked second good karma window and sexuality a lot lately, because even the Kundalini chakra, but still missing a lot of sexual drive in physical body, early menopause too. Would just the TCM river technique help? I think working more of those emotional parts of you could help. Because I think there are, I think do it in I think, there could be stages where, okay, for now, this will help you more, and then this will help. Then you kind of done that for a while, then do this and do this. But those different parts of you that feel different emotion that you're not really acknowledging and maybe not processing, I think that could help. Because it's like if you sort of numb out too much emotion, you're actually numbing out the sexuality stuff at the same time. I know some people feel a lot of sexuality and they're just completely oblivious to their own emotion. But I think maybe like in your early 20s, you can do whatever kind of unhealthy stuff you want, and your sexuality is just hunky dory for many people. But I think later on in life, it helps to be a more well-oiled, it helps to kind of well-oiled. It helps to kind of cross your T's and dot your I's, and stuff. So for you at this point, I'm just looking at, you've numbed out emotionally, so it's accidentally numbing out your sex drive. I mean, of course, age affects it somewhat, but it looks like the numbing out is a thing. So you could look at, what emotions are you trying not to feel, and just heal those parts of you, and to the extent that's healthy and gentle to do at a given time. I hope that makes sense. later, maybe the TCM river stuff where we did yin and yang, I guess, but also the internal and external. We did the 2 rivers for your TCM stuff, internal river and external river. Maybe both of those. You could do 1 river for just all the TCM stuff related to sexuality. But I think the emotional stuff, the emotional numbing out, turning away from different emotions that you have is the bigger component right now that's numbing out your sexual drive. Oh, right. I'm looking. Lost my place, of course. Okay, here we go. Hi, first time getting a healing. Hello to you. How did I do for my first time? Yes. What did you do for your first? Well, okay, there's this thing you did fine. But there's this thing about like spiritual path. That's one way I look at like how people are doing at the moment. It's like a quick little at a glance thing. So you imagine your spiritual path, which just is like a road that's just yours, just for you. And are you looking ahead on your road? And are you moving forward on your road? Versus like if you're overwhelmed, then maybe you're sitting on a park bench on the side of your path, kind of holding your head in your hand, or maybe you're on a side road, so you're kind of lost, So that's an easy, quick way to be like, okay, well, before the healing, what were you doing on your path? And now what are you doing on your path? So it looks like even last night, you were working with your angels more because of the healing coming up. So you were kind of like moving forward, looking forward, and then you would stop for a while. And they'd move forward and then you'd stop for a while. And it seems like what part of the healing kind of clicked for you? I think the chakra unblocking, when we were unblocking chakras in the first half of the healing, it just like you started moving forward really consistently on your path after that. So if you wanted to, I mean, I don't know how like, like I have newbies that just like to dabble, maybe they want to get the healings and then that's that, and fill out a survey maybe, but I have like motivated newbies that maybe want to like do a little bit of, a self-healing walkthrough, in between healings, or maybe several. So I'll give you homework in case you're feeling motivated, but feel free to blow it off if you're not feeling motivated, because like all newbies are good newbies. I have no judgment one way or another. So if you have any motivation along those lines, you could go to my YouTube channel page and there's if you look down a little bit, there's this playlist of short videos and the short video playlist. And there are 2 different ones that have grounding in the title. So you could do either of those as homework. And there's one for chakra repair. And since chakra repair helped you so much, that could be a nice one to kind of, keep blazing forward. So totally optional, but one of the short grounding videos, and or, chakra repair and unblocking, that one. I mean, within a day, there'll be chapters to this long live stream. So you could look at the chapter that like says grounding, and the chapter that says chakra repair. But, sometimes like a 3-hour live stream is kind of daunting to like just go to a chapter. And, whereas when you get those small videos, it's kind of like, I could do that. That's not a big deal, Even for me, sometimes, a shorter video is like, that's good. I could do that, So, but yeah, your angels are very happy. They're throwing confetti for you. So they want me to do confetti for you. They say you like the exploding confetti better. So, oop, wait, didn't mean to go to the face one. Oh, there we go. That's true. That's how it does. So that confetti's for you from your angels. Oh, that's funny. They want me to show you because I tried to do this earlier one day because somebody's family member would have liked this video, but I couldn't find it. But here it is. So this is actually from a Marvel movie, a Marvel show that used to be on called Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And this was a character. And so you can imagine your energy blocks kind of like this, like you have blocked energy in your space that's holding you back, and you're going to just explode it, kind of like what's going to happen here in the video. And so you're standing there, you imagine the blocks that are healthy and gentle to get rid of, and you just get ready to let them go, and then you just blow them out of your space. So that's something you could do. That is also a short video in my short video playlist. That might be amusing for you to just, maybe like before bedtime and, when you wake up in the morning, just imagine, any blocks that are going to keep you from having the best day possible and just, let them go, let them go, let them go, and then just blow them out of your space. I mean, basically with meditation and energy healing, if it amuses you and you find it pleasant to do, it's a good technique. If it's annoying and laborious, that's not so good. So I hope that helps. But yeah, you're a rock star. All right. Somebody says, thank you for the healing. My TCM doctor told me I had a yang deficiency. I felt bummed out about it. Oh, don't feel bummed out about it, but I feel better now. Ask them, you can wow them and ask them, well, what meridian? Right? Because it might be like, oh, you have a kidney yang deficiency or you have a blah, 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 blah. I mean, I'm just talking out my butt as to which meridian, but ask them, tell them that you have videos on the pathways of each meridian and, maybe ask them, just for like 1 or 2 meridians that you could, do energy healing on, because yang deficiency is kind of vague, but maybe you have, oh, it is kidney. Okay, there you go. So yeah, so you can play the kidney video, the kidney one. That's kind of cool. It starts in your foot. Kidney yang deficiency, but yeah, don't be sad. See, with traditional Chinese medicine, everything is like wildly subtle. I mean, you can have really extreme situations, like say you get the flu, right? And you're just sick as a dog, right? So traditional Chinese medicine has ways of describing what's happening, right? But you can also be like kind of feeling normal, and you go to a TCM doctor and they'll be like, oh yes, you have fire and you too much fire and you're this and that and too deficient in this and that. And it is for real, but take it within context. You're still a rock star. You're still, driving and walking and eating and functioning and sleeping okay. You know what I mean? Like, don't think of it like a Western medicine thing, like, oh, you need back surgery. It's not that hard. You can do the healings and, work on it. It's good. They'll always find some imbalance. I mean, that's because it's so detailed, but that's cool. It's like wellness. There's always something you can nourish and balance and, and blah, blah, blah. You know what you could do too? You could even geek out and look up the complementary meridian to kidney, which I couldn't tell you what that is, but someone could tell. I could Google it and tell you. But see, so this is kidney meridian, right? So if I look at your kidney meridian right there, even right there, it does get a little sluggish. And then there, it's just lower energy there. So I would say for me, when I look at your kidney meridian flow, it's pretty early on that it gets, and he might find it later on, but I'm finding like, okay, the kidney one, that one right in your foot, that one's pretty large and in charge. It lets in a lot of energy. It generates energy. The second point, it's pretty large and in charge. It's when it does that little, it looks like a sort of astrological thing right around the inner ankle right there. That's where it just gets all like blocked up. Like those chakras are like smushed. It's like if you took the chakra and just went crumpled it, but that's really easy to do with these TCM little chakras. They're much more delicate than the big 7. So it's really easy to have them crumpled, So those are crumpled there. So from there on, it's much lower energy. So you could like rub oils. That would be kind of fun. Rub a little oil, give yourself a little massage right around there. Just be nice, put gold light there. Maybe while you're watching TV, pull up one of your feet and just, put gold light there, Just make it fun, make it light. Don't be sad about it. It's okay. I used to have really big deficiencies. I'm sure I still have some levels of deficiency, but I used to have I want to say kidney young, but I had other deficiencies because I had too much caffeine, and then I stopped. Now I usually don't have caffeine, but I would be so deficient that I'd want to like curl up and take a nap all the time, which isn't very convenient. But anyway, yeah, so you can look up, I'll look it up now just for fun. So what is the yin yang paired meridian with kidney meridian? Urinary bladder. So you could heal both of those. That could be kind of interesting. Because yin yang pairs work together. So you could work both your kidney meridian and your urinary bladder meridian. And for those of you that don't know those meridian videos, they're in the info section of this live stream, towards the bottom. It's just a link. It says 12 meridian play. So the kidney one is KI and the urinary bladder one is UB. Urinary bladder, UB. Okay, well, if no one else has any more energy healing related comments, then I will chit chat about gardening for a second, probably. I do love this. I'm so glad I found it. Okay, let's think of your energy blocks that are in the way of you having a fantastic rest of the day, that are healthy and gentle to clear. And you're letting go of your resistance. You're releasing. It's okay to let go. It's okay to let go. And you're getting ready to blow up the rest of them. Angels, help me do this. I love that. Okay, so let's do a little gardening chat before we wrap up. So not a ton to say. It is February. It gets dark early. I don't get motivated until late in the day to garden. So there's that. I do have most of my seeds ordered for the summer season, but it's too early to start any of them. Although I keep thinking about starting different basil varieties so that I can compare and contrast them in the house just for fun, like one of each, so I can just see. I was pulling up some grass my whole front yard is a wood chipped garden. But the problem is wood chips break down over time. So then when they break down too much, then it's just more like soil with like a thin layer. And so then grass and weeds try to take over. So this one patch grass keeps taking over like every freaking year. And I get the grass out and I put wood chips on. And for some reason, the wood chips break down like insanely fast in that one spot. I don't know why. The sun must just beat on it really strongly, and the water, and who knows. So anyway, I was working there and my neighbor lent me a tool so I could hack through the grass roots more easily. So that was nice. And yeah, not much else. I'm just, my thing with gardening this year is to just, I think each year I make progress with, last year I made progress with this, is to just not sweat it, like just, if I do some gardening, I do some gardening, because in previous years I let it weigh on me that I'm doing it or I'm not doing it or I'm not doing enough or la 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 la. And so to just have a hobby for enjoyment, because with gardening, some hobbies are like, there's like with energy healing and meditation, there's always more you could do. You can always find some meridian that's deficient or some, chakra that's blocked or some whatever, but it's like at that point, it's not fun anymore. You become neurotic about it, and so gardening can be like that a little bit, unless you just have like a teeny little window box and that's all you have, which some people, that's a lot of how they do it, but me, it's like I wood chip the whole front yard. So it's like, there's always more I could be doing. So my goal this year is to make even more progress with, being not neurotic and just sort of enjoying when I do it and not feeling bad if I don't want to garden. You know what I mean? Like, it's a freaking hobby. Lighten up. So that's that. Oh, so for pets, Izzy did have a dental cleaning, which was good. And non-anesthesia cleaning, which we've never done before for any of our dogs. Usually we let it go so long that their teeth are terrible and they need several extractions. And so then they have to get a very expensive dental procedure to, with anesthesia and everything to take out teeth and clean them and all that. But this time we didn't wait that long at all, really. I mean, he just got a cleaning last year. But he needed a cleaning again already. But they were able to not have to put him to sleep. So it was so much cheaper. I was like thrilled. Yes, please take my money. So I think that might be a thing, to just not wait so long. Who knew? But other than that, everybody's still adorable. Felix is over there. But you're not going to be able to see him very well because he's gray and he's on a dark towel, but there he is, right? Felix. Maybe I'll wake him up. Come to you guys. We'll wake up Felix. Why not? He wakes us up every night, all night, so it's only fair that I wake him up now. Here's our little night terror. He's the biggest kitten in the world. I call him a slinky-cat because he stretches and he's super flexible. He's so long and he has really big feet. So anyway, and Boo Boo's doing well. We reduced her. Boo Boo is our feral cat, who's our indoor house pet that we love very much. And we didn't know. We didn't know she was feral when we brought her in, but she's happy here and we love her. It's just that, she doesn't get close to us. I mean, she gets close, but we can't touch her. That's not allowed. But anyway, she's doing well. She got a little too chubby because we were feeding her too much, I guess. So we've reduced her food amounts. So hopefully she'll slim down a little bit. So Boo Boo's on a diet. But anyway, okay, you guys are amazing. Have a good morning, afternoon, evening, whatever's next for you. And feel free to shower me with money if you wish. And if you want to email me, that's fine. That's my email address. Okie doke. Bye. Let's do the little butterfly. Bye.